We'll do the verse now. Anybody would like to chant the verse?
Yeah, may I try, Prabhuji?
1622.
Yeah. सकृद्यद्दर्शितं रूपम् एतत् कामायते नघ मत्कामः शनकैः साधु सर्वान् मुञ्चति हृच्छयान्.
Now, this verse and the next three verses are going to be a total four verses, including the one which you already discussed, no? Antasmin Janmani Bhavan, Mahamam Drashtum Viharhasi, Avipakwa, Kashayana, Ruddarshoham Kuyoginam. If you remember, even though there's a big gap between the last session and today, that three things that which we discussed that stops. I'm talking about the previous verse before we go into the this current verse. If you remember, there are three things. What are those three things? Avipakva, Kashayanam, Kuyoginam. Right? In 1621, Krishna says that these people who have these three defects, they can hardly see me. Right? They cannot see me properly. That is the verdict of the Supreme Lord. The first one is Avipakwa. Avipakwa means immaturity. Their devotional service is immature. So, what does that immaturity in devotional service mean? Eventually, when Krishna says maturity, the maturity eventually he is referring about uh, actually the Uttamadhikari stage. One who is completely mature in the devotional service, they are actually the one who is the Uttamadhikari stage. So unless and until we get to that stage, uninterrupted darshan of the Lord is not possible. So what exactly is that uninterrupted? If you see in one blanket statement, if you can put it, that maturity means seeing Krishna everywhere, in every aspect of life, whether it is favorable or unfavorable, whether it is positive or negative. In every stage of life, in every way it is there, a devotee sees Krishna in there. That is the primary understanding of maturity. Now, another interesting example with which Maharaj, Param Puja Mahavishnu Maharaj, Mahavishnu Goswami Maharaj used to give a beautiful example about how to understand maturity. He used to tell about the potato, this is the best example. Like potato you take and it is just grown in the field, right? Once it is grown, first thing they do is they cut it off from its source plant, and then it is all buried in the mud and everything. Then it is put in the water and scratched and everything. And then they comes to the market. And after coming to the market, it is brought by people and it comes to our hand. So then what happens? At home, they peel off the skin, right? Imagine put yourself into the potato's legs. If our skin is all peeled out, how it will be? So you will say that potato that does not say anything. First you peel the skin, and then as if that is not enough, you then cut it into pieces. It doesn't say, just keeps quiet, doesn't utter a single word. Then what we do? We mix it with mirchi. After cutting it, we put a mirchi on top of it. And then we put it in some flour, no? The besan flour or whatever. And there also it is cutting, peeling, cutting, then mirchi, then mix with besan flour, and then put it in boiling oil. Right? Then also it is not complaining even one word. And after that also, as if that is not enough, the person it takes it and then he puts it in the mouth and chews. And he is saying lovely, lovely. The potato is going through the grill, but he is saying lovely, very tasty, right? So Maharaj used to say that this throughout this entire journey, because potato did not complain even one bit, it is tasting nice to the person who is eating. So that is a very interesting thing he said. We are also in our life, we also go through all this peeling, cutting, grinding, or baking, boiling, and then all this. It's so painful, really. If you go through that, if you think yourself going through the life of potato, we also are going through similarly. But if you are sabra rakna, they say in our Hindi, no, so they just be quiet and patient. Then only when we see Krishna's hand in everything, we can actually be quiet and patient. Then people will say you are a realized person. If you are raising our voice and shouting and screaming for everything, then we are not considered as a mature person who is a very rebellious, is this, is that, etc. It does not mean that we should keep quiet for a thing and just go through like a dump. Not like that. That is not the meaning. But Krishna says, Tam Titiksha Swa Bharata, right? You tolerate it. Whatever this Sitoshna Sukha Dukkha, whatever it is craving. But simply tolerating without seeing Krishna's hand is a very torturous thing. But if we develop that consciousness, that is why Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, in all of these things, we are getting this one message that try to see Krishna's hand in everything. If there is something which you need to raise, then do it in such a way that there is an impact. What we do is we just shout and scream, but there is no help available, then we become victimized. We feel very despondent and disturbed. Nobody is helping me like that. Honestly speaking, when we say nobody is helping me, that's not a very good statement because Krishna is there to help us. Krishna may not change the situation, he may not change the person, but remembering him will relieve us of that agitating situation, agitating experience. Because say for example, suppose somebody is really loving us, then what they will do? They will give us the soothing thing. Like for example, mother, say suppose she loves us, or father loves us. We are getting some problem which some very powerful person is doing some harm to us. Father and mother may not be able to face that person, right? But then we will, if you tell them, maybe they will give some soothing support, right? Our friends or somebody. They may not help to solve the situation, but at least they will be with us, right? So like that, Krishna actually, even though he may be able to solve the problem, he's not like, I mean, like father and mother, he can give the love also. He will definitely, if you go to him. Apart from that, he has all the power to solve the problem. But our aim is not to solve the problem. Our aim is for Krishna to help us uh, get rid of our to help us get rid of our false connections and attachments in this world, isn't it? False attachments in this world, the false attachments to so many other things, our ego, everything. To get out of that is what Krishna. We have to go to Krishna, and Krishna is helping Narada Muni in that same way. When his mother passed away, Krishna helped in such a way that he could take it very nicely. Like why he said he saw that as Krishna's mercy. So the real mature state, one will not complain to Krishna why this is happening, why that is happening, but rather see that what is the lesson that Krishna is trying to teach me. So the best example that Maharaj told us is that those who speaks the last is heard the loudest. Silence is the loudest noise. Like that, he would say that we don't have to speak any time and every time. But when there's a need for us to speak, when there is an opportunity for us to speak, That we have to do in the most positive way, with the consciousness that Krishna is helping us. Krishna is the one who is support, who is the only one who can give us support. So this is some of the things much Maharaj told is that when somebody is really mature, even if he does, when he doesn't speak, also people will be looking forward to him to speak. An immature person will speak at unwanted times, and people will start thinking, "Man, when will he keep quiet? He is how he is not making any sense at all." Like that, they will think when an immature person speaks. When a mature person speaks, means when a mature person is there, automatically people will go to him for suggestions and guidance. That person need not come and tell. Automatically, people will go. That is the command that he generates due to his conviction that Krishna is behind every action in this world. Right? So that is it's a few things. That's why Maharaj said maturity is a gift. It is not something that is given to everybody. There is one very beautiful lecture by Param Puja Mahavishnu Goswami Maharaj. It's called Maturity in Devotional Service. I'll try to share that link. It is there in the website, Maharaj's official website. That's one of the best lectures. Even if you read the transcription, you will see how many times Maharaj will give the different dimensions of maturity. It's one of the best lectures to understand the definition of maturity. I just told one or two things only, but in that Maharaj give lots of understanding that lecture. Okay. Now that is maturity, that is avipakwa. So one has to become pakwa. Pakwa also actually means we say khana pakana, we say, no? Because what does that mean? Even the raw fruit vegetable is boiled or baked or heated or whatever to make it into edible. It's very to make it very tasty. So we have to go through the guide. That's why Maharaj used to say that he said that there is no substitute to experience. You can be anything in the smart skills you can develop, talents you can develop in much earlier. But maturity, the experience and maturity can develop only by being in this world for a significantly longer period. If you are in Krishna consciousness, we may get that maturity a little early because we learn all these messages from Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam and being in association, we may get a little bit early. But without Krishna consciousness, being in this world, you have to go through the grind. What maturity a person has at 50 or 60, he may not have in 20 or 30. We all know that. That is why at home we have grandfather, grandmother. Their experiences definitely you cannot replace it. That is, you cannot match it or replace it. Okay? So in this world right now, there is a lot of talent is there, skill is there, ability is there, special qualities are there. But maturity is something which comes only with age and experience. That takes so maturity also means wisdom. The wisdom that we get is it comes only with the experience. Very, very rare souls can get it much earlier in their life because of whatever association, whatever. So avipakwa. Then kashayanam. Kashaya, we said the dirt that is at the bottom of the, when you say, for example, kada or tea or something that you make, it goes to the bottom, the dirt. When you drink from the top, it doesn't come up. But as you go no closer, you can see it there. The dirt's there. Same way, if you stir it, then automatically all the dirt, the powder that is there in the bottom, that comes up. So for us also, that kashayana means we may be doing devotional service, but not with the proper depth, proper what do you call, the proper intensity. Then what happens is it may look like all the passion and ignorance is all down thing, but some person will come and stir it and it will all come up and we will be surprised. Hey, I thought I was a devotee. How come this is suddenly coming up? I never thought I will be angry like this. So this is how Krishna tests us. That is Kashayana. And Puyogi, Kashaya comes because of Puyogina. Puyogina means We don't do our devotional service properly. Chanting to just, we will say, oh Prabhu, I am pronouncing the holy names properly. I'm chanting, I'm not missing any time. I'm doing all alternate properly and all that. But then that's not enough. Kuyogi actually does not mean only pronunciation and all that. It also means intense prayer in the chanting. Many times we and even the tendency to finish the round, 16 rounds, and get off with that service. That itself is a kuyogi because we have not done our service properly. It's just to, okay, I've done my 16 rounds. What did we do? Did we move 1 inch ahead in our prayerful dependency on Krishna? Are we bit more convinced about being dependent on Krishna than trying to do everything ourselves? Right? So there are too many things which are like at different levels that Kuyogi thing will come. Someone who is in the beginning, if they are not pronouncing the holy name properly, then for him that not pronunciation is only Kuyogi. But after a years of thing, after hearing so much katha, so many things, then also we are coming to this point that I'm chanting my the pronunciation is all right, but my prayerful mood is not there. Then that is Kuyogi for the 10 year, 15 years experience today. I mean, who's there in Krishna consciousness for so long. So the expectation varies at different level. What we expect from a LKG student is different from what we expect from a 12th standard or a college student, right? So that the Yogi thing keeps changing. So there is a refinement, a constant refinement that should happen at this level. So these three things, Avipakva, Kashayana, Yogina, these three things, we should remember that it should keep move. I mean, we should remove this from our system, right? So this is what Krishna is telling, that if three things are there, these three things are there, you won't be able to see me. Those who are incomplete in service and who are completely free from, those who are incomplete in service and who are not completely free from all material taints can hardly see me. So they cannot see me. So now one may wonder that who is Narada Muni? He seems to have perfected his thing nicely. But what was that avipakvata and this kashayam in the Narada Muni's thing till now? He was trying to follow the process. He got darshan of Krishna once. Second, he tried with that same process. Prabhupada calls it as mechanical process, as we discussed earlier about why he is saying so. And he was trying to see Krishna. Krishna did not come. But then his voice spoke now, and he is telling this verse. That is, what are the three things? Avipakva, Kashaya, and Kuyogi in Narad Muni's sadhana so far.
The mechanical process, the thinking that I will do it and I will be able to see that Lord again, that expectation.
Yeah, so taking the mercy component of Krishna out is one of the avipakvata, right? Or you can call it as how should I say? You can call it as which one you can put it under? Avipakva or Kashaya or Kuyogi.
Prabhuji, avipakva.
Why would we say so?
Because I think that due to mercy only, he got the darshan and also the voice, but still not, he has not appreciated that.
Mhm.
Uh,
Appreciating Krishna's this thing is very important. Krishna's mercy is one of the important component of devotional service, right? So when we are mature, then we will actually see Krishna's mercy more than my own endeavor. So there it's where it is there. And then what would he becomes aggrieved. He is dissatisfied and is aggrieved as a result of it. Correct? So the thought that I can do it again with my mechanical process, that is somehow or other I will do it. Right? That is avipakva, that taking the mercy component out of it. And being aggrieved and dissatisfied comes under this our kashayana. Right? It's a material change, because if you actually see Krishna's hand properly, then we will not be aggrieved, we will not be dissatisfied. So that dissatisfaction and that grief that Krishna is not merciful to me, that is actually a result of kashayam and this thing, right? Kashayam basically, right? And thinking that I will be able to achieve this simply by my thing alone, that is kuyogi. Because kuyogi, missing the mercy component is avipakva. Being aggrieved and disturbed is kashayam. Because I am still then the thing, all the dirty thing comes out with the expectation basically, right? That is why I am being aggrieved. Then kuyogi is, what is a kuyogi? Kashayam, I told this. Mercy component, thinking that I will be able to do it myself. And the third thing is being aggrieved and disturbed. Right? In these three things, what are the, how did we classify this now? Avipakva, Kashayam, and Kuyogi. Forgetting the mercy part is actually avipakva. And trying to repeat the same mechanical process and thinking that I will be able to do, right? That is
Kashayana.
And being aggrieved and disturbed, the reason for grief and disturbance is because of doing it with some expectation. Second time when he was doing it, first time he was doing it, he was not doing it with the expectation. Second time only we are talking about. The second time when he was doing it with the expectation that I will be able to, Krishna will come just like was come earlier. That is kuyogi. Right? When expectation is there in our this thing, that is imperfectly doing our devotional service. Get it? So now that's why Krishna comes, and he comes in the form of the voice now. He doesn't come in the form of darshan. But Krishna did not see these three things too much. He just told these three things. But he does not intend to say that Nagmuni, you are having these things. It is a big. It's not like that. Actually, it is a general statement for all of us. We have to see if in every activity are we doing these three things, right? In fact, we should be appreciative of Narada Muni, because Narada Muni did not even have a proper, what you call, initially he had the Bhakti Vedanta Association. After that, his mother left, the sages left, he had nobody with him for guidance. Alone he was doing everything, and he had no proper place to stay, and he was not having regular food or prasadam or anything, and he was going to all kinds of forests, hills, cities, towns, villages, everywhere he was going. And so much guts and courage he had to do all these things, right? So we should actually appreciate Narada Muni's position. We are much, much better off. When even if we had to go to Vrindavan or Mayapur, we have taxi dropping us at the door of the temple and taking us to the airport. And we go on yatra. We are going to all these different ones. We go in a group. The nights we enjoying. Imagine thinking, do that that yatra or Rath Yatra also, any yatras, for example, do it all alone. You will see how difficult it is. We have even service also. If you can go and do service, Harinam or Sankirtan or anything that we go, if you go alone, we will realize how struggle it is, how much of a struggle it is. Going as a group, we can do nicely, Radha Krishna Bolo, Sange Chalo, Ek Matra Dikasha, Bhakti Thakur says, Sange Chalo, go in a group and enjoy. That is fine. But alone is the most difficult thing, right? Prabhupada did it all alone. He was, nobody was with him and he had to do all the stuff. So it is very important to understand these three concepts, and we have to again and again dig deeper and see if these three things are still there. It is indeed there, but again, going back to Krishna, I should say, yeah, Prabhu, thank you for that. Prabhu reminded Suresh Prabhu at the age of 5. So it is so difficult to do that. So that is why it's important to see Krishna in everything. Now let's go to the next one, the one which we read just now, Sakrut Yad Darshitam Rupam. Once only. Sakrut means once only. Yad Darshitam Rupam. You have seen my form, right? Yetat Kamaya Te Anagha. So Krishna says in his words, is the next 3 verses, apart from the one which we discussed till now, the next 3 verses, 4 verses total, Krishna is speaking. And these 4 verses are the best verses to help us understand where we are. So, Yetat Kamaya Tenagha Mat Kamaha Shanakaihi Sadhu. Mat Kamaha Shanakaihi Sadhu Sarvan Munchati Chayan. The more and more you hanker for me, the more and more your material dirt and material thoughts and everything will go away. Sarvan Munchati Ilvishan. So I have given this thing to you so that whatever little dirt that may be there, that also you shed it off. For us also, in Krishna consciousness, I am there. Why Krishna is giving me this problem? That is because he wants us to shed the last traces of those identification also. Right? Last traces of identification also, Krishna wants us to give up. What is the last trace of the identification? Why is Krishna giving me this problem? That itself is a misidentification or mistake. Who are we to ask why Krishna is giving me this problem? Krishna has given for everybody. So we are a special person or not? It doesn't mean that way, right? So we have to see that Krishna can do anything and everything because he is our supreme father. We have to see that Tatyanu Kapam Susyamanksha Mano Bunjana Yavatmatatam Vipakam, right? Vipakam. So that word should always be in our mind. That Krishna, if he wants, he can give all these things, but he is actually giving very less. If he wants, he can give all the more misery. And he didn't give it. He gave only very little for us to experience. So that is how devotee sees. I see some message from how to understand that Bharat Maharaj was also alone and at Baba stage, but he got attached to deer. But Narada Muni is also alone, no association, but he's not attached to anything during his journey. Nice question, Prabhu. For this, actually, we should. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says something very interesting about Bharat Maharaj. While it is said in the Bhagavatam that Bharat Maharaj was attached to the deer, both Vyasadev and Prabhupada give a very nice, interesting solution. It's a conclusion there, which is actually through prarabdha karma. He says that is due to prarabdha karma. And now again, what prarabdha karma that does Bharat Maharaj have, just like us or whatever? No. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur clarifies that there are two types of prarabdha karma. One is a prarabdha karma which actually I create by my karma, right? Like the parents we have, the children we have, these are all prarabdha karma. You cannot change. It is already decided, right? So those things are according to our karma. But on special cases, Krishna will actually give something which looks like prarabdha karma, but it is not the devotee's creation. It is Krishna's given prarabdha karma. And so in this case, is that a deer is actually Krishna given prarabdha karma. This I discussed with one of the senior Prabhupada disciples, and he shared with me that quote from Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's commentary. And that is the reason Prabhupada quotes, explains it in two different ways in the translation and in the purport also. We will, I think here we don't have anyway restriction on that. So I will tell you which verse it is. We might have discussed this already in our the earlier earlier sessions, but no harm in recalling it again. 5, 8, 5, 8, 26. This is the verse number. I will take that and show you. Able to see my screen?
Yes, Prabhuji.
If you see here, Sukadeva Goswami is telling here to Parikshit Maharaj. In this way, Bharat Maharaj was overwhelmed by an uncontrollable desire which was manifest in the form of the deer. Due to the fruitive results of his past deeds, he fell down from mystic yoga, austerity, and worship of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. If it were not due to his past fruitive activity, how could he have been attracted to the deer after giving up the association of his own son and family, considering them stumbling block on the path of spiritual life? How could he show such uncontrollable affection for a deer? This was definitely due to his past karma. Right? You are with me? Up to now?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Now then he is saying, in due course of time, insurmountable death, which is compared to a venomous snake that enters the hole created by mouse, situated itself before him. This is what he is telling. Right? Now you come to the purport. That's where the fun starts. See, as will be seen in later verses, Bharat Maharaj at the time of death would be forced to accept the body of a deer due to his attraction for the deer. In this regard, a question may be raised. How can a devotee be affected by his past conduct and vicious activities? In Brahma Samhita, it is said, Karmani Nirdhavati Kintucha Bhakti Bhajana. For those engaged in devotional service, Bhakti Bhajana, the result of past deeds are indemnified. According to this, Bharat Maharaj could not be punished for his past mistakes. Piyush Prabhu, your question, right?
Yes, Prabhuji, yes. Hare Krishna.
Right.
Yes.
The conclusion must be that Bharat Maharaj purposefully became over addicted to the deer and neglected his spiritual advancement. To immediately rectify this mistake, for a short time he was awarded the body of a deer. This was just to increase his desire for mature devotional service. Same like Narada Muni, right? For Narada Muni also is saying the same thing. This is only to increase your eagerness for me, right? Although Bharat Maharaj was awarded although Bharat Maharaj was awarded the body of an animal, he did not forget what had previously happened due to his purposeful mistake. Now you see the word purposeful. Prabhupada is repeating it the second time. So I asked this to Maharaj, as well as Ganapati Maharaj, why is this word purposeful again and again used by Prabhupada here? That's when he said it is in reference to the Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's commentary and also from the Bhagavatam here, right? So he was very anxious to get a dear body, and this indicates that his affection for devotional service was intensified, so much so that he was quickly to attain a perfection in a Brahmana body next life, right? So three times he would say purposeful. What is the third time? At least two times it came so far. Prabhupada says here, it is with this conviction that we declared our Back to Godhead magazine, like how the Goswamis are all were. Here, the third one, who purposefully commit some sinful activity. Here, right? So here, what Maharaj told me is that this purposeful word is to indicate that Prarabdha karma is not his own creation, but it was a thing created by Krishna upon him. It was a Krishna given Prarabdha karma. Krishna induced Prarabdha karma. You get me? What does that mean? Krishna induced Prarabdha karma. If you say purposeful, the word purposefully that is used three times by Prabhupada is because Krishna had a purpose behind it to give him the Prarabdha karma. What was that purpose? Though this particularly may not have been given in Bhagavatam, what actually Acharyas have told, have rendered it here is that actually Bharat Maharaj, he was doing all devotional service, everything, but nobody in the world could know about his purity and all those things, right? Only when you preach, his knowledge and his realizations will come out. Otherwise, you will say, oh, he lived in an ashrama, he did this, he did that, he did some daily and all that, and he remembered Krishna and he went away. That's all we will know, right? But Krishna had a purpose behind this. He wanted Bharat Maharaj's glories to be revealed to the whole world, even more deeply, and for a longer time it should stick. It should stay in this world. How it is possible? Only when we hear his wisdom, his realizations, we can that person's glories can go beyond his life, isn't it? Not everybody is remembered. Not everybody, those who are silent, they could be remembered by, or their actions should speak somehow to the future generations. Only then people can appreciate or understand what they have done, isn't it? Say, for example, Param Puja Gopal Krishna Maharaj, he passed away around 1 year ago, around the same time, right? Around May, it's little more than a year now. Until he was moving about, everybody knew, oh, Gopal Krishna Maharaj is great. Gopal Krishna Maharaj is a very great personality and in devotional, in Krishna consciousness movement and all that. But nobody knew his actions and his preaching so much. As much as when after his departure and devotees were revealing all those glories and his pastimes and his instructive lessons and everything, then people realized how great he was. For example, I'm just saying, right? Like this, a person's purity is sometimes may not be known to everybody in this world. It has to be revealed through others. Or it has to be revealed through their, say, services like preaching, or they do some very glorious tasks, then it will be revealed to the world. So even though Bharat Maharaj may not be intending to do that, but Krishna wanted it to happen. That is why that purposefully comes. Piyush Prabhu, is it clear till now?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhu. Yes,
Right?
yes,
So
Prabhuji.
there is a purpose behind Bharat Maharaj's thing that was beyond his limit. That purpose was decided by Krishna. Okay, and now
Yes, Prabhuji.
the beauty here is, and the second part of it, what I told you that the Acharyas have commented, is that the deer which was there when Bharat Maharaj left, and Bharat Maharaj, remembering the deer, got the deer form next life. And there he remembered his past life. And so that's why without mingling with the other deers, he went to that same Kulahashrama and he left his body eating just simply the dry leaves and living the life of a sage. Right? There also he could have gone back to Krishna consciousness, gone back to Godhead, just like Gajendra also went. He could have gone back. But Krishna gave once again the Jada Bharat form. Right? If you see, Jada Bharat Maharaj knew everything that people were doing to him. All the atrocities that people were doing to him, he was aware of it. But he acted as a deaf and dumb throughout. He was made to work like a donkey, but he didn't complain. He was given food like a dog, he didn't complain. He was cheated by his own brother, he didn't complain. He was about to be beheaded, he didn't complain. He didn't even speak one word. Do you understand? But why would he start speaking when this Rahugana simply chastised him? That too, he was carrying, he was a great Brahmana, his self-realized soul. But he didn't speak up at all when he was asked to carry the palanquin with the other laborers. And they were carrying him for so far, he was simply doing it without even telling them that I cannot do this. Right? But why should he open up his mouth and speak to Rahugana when he chastised him? Then when Rahugana chastised him, he was able to tolerate so many other things, no? He could have simply carried out. Why he spoke only to him? Our Acharya say that the deer which came in Bharat Maharaj's life, Bharat Maharaj became a deer because of the deer's association. But the deer became the king Rahugana because of Bharat Maharaj's association. So that is why as a deer, he could not give that signs of self-realization in that life. But when it became Rahugana, became king, then Bharat Maharaj knew that, okay, now I have to deliver this deer. Rahugana was earlier a deer. And through that conversation only, we understand the glories of Bharat Maharaj, what all he practiced, he learned, he practiced in the life of Jada Bharata. And those instructions are time-tested instructions. They are not destroyed by time. So many thousands and millions of years, still the instructions are the same. So, and another important point that we are revealed here is that a Vaishnava is willing to take any number of births to deliver the living entities, even if that living entity was the cause of you taking the next births. This is what we also say this, no? Spiritual masters keep coming back till the last person is delivered. That statement is also there, right? So this is one of the proofs that you have taken shelter of me. I will keep coming back until I deliver you. So this is one of the indications of that principle. It's not a rule, it's a principle. The guru is not obliged to follow it. Don't tell that, guru will come any number of times till I am delivered. So I can decide after 100 to 200 lives, I can decide to go. Until then, he will keep coming. No. If he wants, he can throw us out. But I'm just saying that is a karunyata, the costless mercy of the spiritual masters. Yes, I saw somebody raise their hand. Was it Shwapna Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji, I got some confusion, but later it was okay. So
That was nice of you. Okay. So any doubts here?
Prabhuji,
Yes, Manisha Mataji, I think you also raised.
Prabhuji, I didn't understand that part that Vaishnavas are ready to take a number of birth.
They are willing to come back in this world in whatever, any number of times to deliver the soul's surrender to them. If we are not perfected our life in this life, then the spiritual master may come back again to deliver us.
Got it, Prabhuji. Yeah.
Right?
Thank you,
So
Prabhuji.
that is the reason in this 5.8.26, The translation, Prabhupada writes, it is definitely due to the karma. In the purport, he writes, it is he cannot be due to his karma. What it means is that in the purport, he says all his karmas are extinguished by bhakti. Karmani dindati kintu bhakti bhajam. Right? His created karma, the karmas which he created were destroyed. But the karma which Krishna created, that he cannot destroy because it is Krishna. Krishna decides how to take that karma through. Right? So that is the karma which he tells in the translation that it is definitely due to his karma. And that's the reason Prabhupada translates in the writes in the purport purposefully 3 times. There's a purpose. He had a purpose behind it. Krishna is having some purpose, so I will follow that purpose. But he had one other hidden purpose. Krishna's purpose was to glorify Jada Bharat Maharaj. He fulfilled that purpose. But Bharat Maharaj's hidden purpose was to deliver the deer in the form of Rahugan, who had taken the life of Rahugan. For that, I am willing to come back again if Krishna allows me. Is that clear? Yes, Sanjan Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandas Pranam.
Pranam.
Prabhuji, thank you so much for the class so far, Prabhuji, and the previous classes. I have a question. Actually, this is not exactly my question, but I'm trying to answer a question asked by my neighbor. He was a small child, and they were going to Jaipur for seeing Lord Krishna's temple from Punjab, and it seems there was an accident. His father, his mother, and grandparents all died. So leaving only 2 boys of like 8 years and 10 years. So this neighbor is asking me, why did Krishna do this to me? We were only going to his temple, and Krishna did this. He took away my parents at such a young age. So now he's kind of upset with Krishna, and he worships Shiva. But recently he took Bhagavad Gita, Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita from me, and he's trying to study. So he's asking me that question, and he said, you ask Lord and get me the answer. I said, I'll ask a senior devotee and get back to you.
Why you ask Lord? You yourself ask Lord, no? Lord answers everybody's call. You chant Hare Krishna mantra and you will get the answer. You tell him that. This is Avipakka, Prabhu. It comes to all those who have this, what you call, very definitely everybody will be attached to their family and all that. But it's the same thing. You can say somebody going on picnic also, they will be saying, what's the difference? Just because you are going to the temple, it does not mean that Krishna, we cannot die. The death, as per the karma, even if you are not going to the temple that day, if you are gone to say some other picnic like Pahalgam or somewhere else, he could have been killed. We are supposed to die that day, and we will die anywhere. You remember that story, right? There is in Baghdad or somewhere, there is a nice story that Maharaj also tells it very nicely. That one king is there, his servant is there. So Krishna comes in he gets this thing. Yamaraj comes in the dream and tells that tomorrow you will die to the servant. So you remember that story, right, Meenakshi Mataji?
Yes,
I'm not
Prabhuji.
exactly telling the sequence, but anyway, the message is still clear. So the next day, the servant comes to the king crying, today I'm going to die, please save me. So the king says that, okay, let me do something. You are supposed to go to one particular city. I will change that thing and I will let him go to the second city, say some other city. He goes, he's in the horse and he goes, and that person is happy. Somehow he'll be saved from Yamaraj. So then the king goes to the somewhere to the outside, and then he sees Yamaraj there. Then he smiles at Yamaraj, thinking that, see, I have cheated you. And Yamaraj also smiles back at him. He says, why Yamaraj is smiling? I was saved the servant, Then he said, why are you smiling? Yeah, I was going to take your servant back. No, I saved him. No, I sent him to this other city. No, that's why I was wondering. Actually, he was supposed to go to the other city only. He was why? How come he was planning to go to the first city, which he decided? I was going to kill him in the second city where he is right now. So good that you sent him there. So right, you got the answer, Nanjan Prabhu. So
Yes,
it is,
Prabhuji.
if you have to die that day, we can die whichever way we are. Even if you catch hold of Krishna's lotus feet, also you will die. There is no, if Krishna wants to do that, he may take us anywhere.
At least by Krishna's
Unfortunately, people may
mercy,
not be able to given this. We cannot give this directly to them. I'm telling you because that is the standard truth. Huh? I've seen many such things. So some devotees are going in for a trip to, I think Nepal or somewhere, and they died in the plane crash. So these kind of things, why God is doing this to me, that to me, etc. That doesn't come. It's all the immature devotional service only will ask this question. The mature devotional service, you will say, okay, this is my karma. Krishna is yet any caste with Krishna. We are just giving the results of our karma. Oh, Krishna is going to take my karma. Karma ni daviti kintu cha bhakti bhaja. That is for pure bhakti, not for our Khichdi bhakti. Please don't think that for our Khichdi bhakti, Krishna will give all this karma and all, will destroy and all that. There should be some reasonable argument from our side. Imagine I cannot claim that why Krishna is not destroying my miseries. Why am I still suffering? Because I know my bhakti is so motivated and so interrupted and so full of nonsense and is so mixed with so much nonsense qualities. How can I even dare to go and ask Krishna? Man, I cannot stay with the 2 meals. I cannot reduce one meal even staying in the dham. Forget about staying fasting. So we have to tell them in a kind of gentle way. When they come to the point to understand, Krishna will reveal it. Okay, Anjal Prabhu. I think Shamshan
Thank you,
Prabhu may
Prabhuji.
have a point to share here. Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Can we put it this way also that they are going to Jaipur to have darshan of Lord Krishna and deities there in Jaipur, and they died on the way. So at least they have some consciousness of this Krishna consciousness because they are going to Jaipur. So it is better to, as you say, that if they are going to picnic, they are going to die at that time, at that moment. But it is better that they are going to Krishna and their consciousness is there.
Exactly. In one yatra, it happened actually. As soon as Radhanath Maharaj was taking about 7,000 devotees, I think, to Jagannath Puri, I think. It happened a few years ago. One of the devotees' father, they were all in the train, and just within a few hours of the journey only, one of the devotees' father passed away due to heart attack or something. So every devotee was coming and asking this thing to Maharaj. The Maharaj said, "You do please do kirtans." And then Maharaj told something interestingly that he is even more conscious than us, even more deeply conscious of Jagannath Ji than us. That is why we were all thinking of going and seeing Jagannath, but his intensity, he was so restless to see Jagannath that before even the train could reach there, he reached Jagannath. He went to Jagannath even before all of us. So that's why Jagannath has been even more merciful to him. His intensity of desire to see Jagannath is much more than that. That's how favorably we can think of, right? Thank you for that.
Thank you,
Yes,
Prabhuji.
I was about to say.
Yeah, thank you, Prabhuji. So thank you. I think in this I can give him this
Yeah,
one.
yeah. That's how we should possibly give. But frankly speaking, we cannot, blow over the boil. This at the end of the day, we have to accept that Krishna, whatever karma that we did, that later when he comes to some good consciousness and develops even more faith in Krishna, at that time we can tell this thing that about the karma part of it. When somebody is in a really bad mood, at that time telling them that this is your karma may sometimes backfire. But it is a right
Yes.
philosophy. Philosophy-wise, it is right. But we should know how to tell in what way. But the karma part of it, I was telling you because from a philosophical perspective. Meenakshi Mataji?
Thank you, Prabhuji.
No, Prabhuji, actually, many times you have told us that when we think of going to a yatra, the yatra starts when we think of it. So
Mhm.
actually, they have left the world when they were in yatra. So that means they have Krishna had decided better destination for them.
Yeah. No, that's what I was telling. That like what I quoted Radhanath Maharaj's point,
Mm,
right? That's the
yeah.
same thing he said. He was so intense to meet. He cannot bear the separation from Jagannath that he wanted to meet Jagannath even before the train reaches there. That's why Jagannath gave him the special mercy. Like important. So one of the things, end of the day, we have to be realizing is that Krishna is the supreme controller. That's one of the um, failing to realize is one of the avipakvata. He can do anything that he wants. He is completely free to do. What is that verse? I know no one but Krishna is my Lord, and he shall remain so. Even if he handles me roughly in his embrace or makes me broken-hearted, by not being present before him. He is completely free to do. Yeah, that's the thing. He is completely free to do anything and everything. This line is very important. He is completely free to do anything and everything. But he is always my worshipful Lord unconditionally. There is no conditions. If I am going to Yatra, there is no condition that he should keep me all right or he should keep me safe. Whatever you want to do with me, Krishna, please do. This is the highest point I'm talking about. Maybe those who are on the still the faith is still in the tottering stage. We may have to give them some little bit of uh, sugar-coated things. But the ultimate thing is this, at least for our own reflection. Thank you much for this nice. Okay, so that question of Piyush Prabhu is cleared with Bharat Maharaj thing, right? Let's
Yes,
go to
Prabhuji.
the word to word of this 1621 now. 10 minutes. Yes, Prabhu, thank you for that question. So we'll go to this word to word and then translation and see if we can, because the very beautiful purport here it is. These purports will be like real laddu, huh? Real sweet balls. Okay, let's read the word to word. Who wants to do it? Hare Krishna. Was it Meenakshi Mataji reading? Anyone else wants to read? You can read. We should stop the sharing this. Reading 1621. Okay, so shall I do then?
Yeah.
Sakrit?
Suraj,
Yes, Swapna Mataji?
Anta
You want to read,
or
Mataji?
Narada?
1622, Mataji. Sorry, 1622. 1621 we already done.
Are you able to hear me, Prabhuji?
Yes, Mataji.
Sakrit once only, yat that, darshitam shown, rupam form, etad kamya for hankering,
No,
te
this is
yetad this is kamaya or hankerings,
Kamaya.
te
Kamaya.
kamaya for hankerings, te your anagha, O virtuous one, mat mine, kamaha desire, sankha sankheha
Anakaihi. Anakaihi.
It's not there. Anaga
It's not
mat
there.
kam. No.
Shanakaihi, what must be there? By increasing.
It's anakaihi. Anakaihi. It was.
No,
It's
okay, Shah is missing. Shanakaihi, okay. In the print, maybe
shanakaihi
Shanakaihi by increasing.
by
And Sadhu.
increasing.
Hmm.
Sadhu, devotee.
Hmm.
Sarvan, all. Munachati, gives away.
Munchati, Munchati, Mataji. Munchati.
Munch, munchati, gives away. Rich sayan, material
Yeah, material
desires.
desires. What
O
word
virtuous
is
one,
over? Translation.
O virtuous one, you have only one
Only
seen my
once. Hmm.
O virtuous one, you have only one seen my person, and this is just to increase your desire for me. Because the more you hanker for me, the more you will be freed from all material desires.
So this is the reason Krishna does this to devotees. Narada Muni is already purified by that time, but he doesn't want him to get any more material desires. So by withdrawing himself, Krishna, by withdrawing himself from the darshan of Narada Muni, he is making him hanker more and more. If you see, even in our life, Krishna has come. That is why we are continuing on in the devotional service. In the beginning of our doing, or whenever we do it, little bit of thing that he is giving us that experience. In whatever that ananda that we experience, no, that is Krishna. Not just the form, not just the, of course, they are also Krishna, but the experience stays with us, isn't it? The form may not be there, like say, I go to the temple, the form I see, that instance I see, but after some time I may not be there in my mind always. But the experience of that ananda that I experienced, the anubhava that I have, no, that anandambudhi vardhana, that experience will stay with us. That is why we keep trying to do it to get more and more. The symptom of the experience, the symptom of ananda being with us. What is a symptom of ananda being with us?
That we are able to continue the devotional service.
That we are hankering for more and more is the symptom of that ananda.
Service.
The symptom of us having experienced that ananda is our desiring to hanker, or hankering for it more and more is the symptom. If if that hankering is not there, it means that ananda is not there in me. I have not experienced that. So that is the by nature of ananda, that to keep. When you have that ananda, you want more. When you have the ananda, you want more. Right? And you won't want anything else, because this is the only thing that you will want. So that way you will be freed from all material desires. So the material desire is like the gutter, right? And Krishna consciousness experience is like the Ganges water, right? And the more you flow the Ganges water, the more the gutter will be driven away, and only Ganges water will remain in the flow. You just by removing that gutter thing, the drainage, you will not purify it. You have to let the thing flow. You will let the Ganges flow. Correct? So that is our practice of devotional service. Okay, let's read the purport. Very beautiful and very sweet purport. Who is reading? Anyone else wants
Meenakshi
to read?
Mataji, are you reading?
I will read, Prabhu.
Okay.
Hare Krishna.
So,
A living being cannot be vacant of desires. He is not a dead stone. He must be working, thinking, feeling, and willing. But when he thinks, feels, and wills materially, he becomes entangled. And conversely, when he thinks, feels, and wills for the service of Lord, he becomes gradually freed from all entanglement.
Mm.
The more a person engaged in the transcendental loving service of the Lord, the more he acquires a hankering for it.
See, the statement which you discussed just now, Prabhupada
Yes.
is translated into this statement. Right? Can
Yes,
you read
Prabhu.
that line again, Prabhu?
The more a
By the way,
person is
I made
engaged,
that statement without reading this, huh? And Prabhupada heard us. He's revealing that in the statement. Yes, Prabhu, please.
you are a realized soul, Prabhu.
No,
The
Prabhu,
more a
please.
person,
Don't waste time. Read, read the statement. I was telling
the
Prabhupada
more
is hearing us, not me realizing. Thank God. Please, Prabhu.
the more a person is engaged in the transcendental loving service of the Lord, the more he acquires a hankering for it.
Mm. See, this is the line. Right? This is the transcendental nature of godly service. Right? More and more you do the service, the more and more Krishna is giving us ananda. And the more, and we are not doing the service for getting ananda. We are doing the service for the sake of doing the service. But that ananda's nature is that you will want more service. Right? Yes, Prabhu.
That is the transcendental nature of godly service. Material
See,
service has
the transcendental
satisfaction.
nature of godly service. Mundane service has limit because there is expectation. There is mundane expectation. And when the inflow stops, the service also stops. But because the transcendental nature is there in Krishna service, we are not working with some expectation. But Krishna keeps giving the ananda more and more, the anubhav, right? So the more and more even whether Krishna is giving the ananda or not, that is immaterial for the devotee. But it is Krishna by nature, he gives the ananda, the experience, the blissful experience of doing that seva. But the devotee, without any expectation, keeps doing the seva only for the pleasure of the Lord. Yes, Prabhu.
That is the transcendental nature of godly service. Material service has satiation,
Mm.
whereas a spiritual service of the Lord has neither satiation nor end.
Ah. Now you see what is the meaning of this word satiation. Very important. I and Maharaj discussed this. Parampuj Mahashnavasa Maharaj, when we were discussing this verse together, at that time we had a nice discussion about this word satiation. There is a difference between the word satiation and satisfaction. Satiation is not satisfaction. Many times we wrongly understand that. Then if you put satiation, you put the word satisfaction in the place of satiation, then this statement appears a mistake. Spiritual service neither has satisfaction nor end. Do you think that statement appears correct? We always say spiritual service has satisfaction, no? So Prabhupada is writing neither has satiation nor end. One is that, okay, with this I am done with the service. That is the end. What is satiation means?
Is opposite to satisfaction.
Not really opposite to satisfaction. It is like, say, suppose you are given one gulab jamun, you take, two gulab jamun, you take. If you are given 50 gulab jamuns and you are asked to take at the same time, all of them you finish off now only, how will you feel at the after some time? You will feel like, I don't know the word that they use in other languages, but in Tamil I know the word which we use. It's, I don't know in Hindi or Marathi, what is the word to use? Like, you literally have so much of it, you just don't want it. It's the moment you are given, you will feel like vomiting it out and any more thing. What is that word? I know it is there in our language.
Satiated.
Sorry, Prabhu.
Satiated.
Saturation.
Satiated.
No, saturation is English word. I'm talking about in Hindi or other language.
What is the word in Tamil, Prabhuji?
Oh, you don't know the word in Tamil.
तृप्ति हो ना
Sorry.
हाँ प्रभु तृप्ति हो जाना.
Tripti, no. Tripti is satisfaction, Prabhu. Tripti means I am satisfied. But this is like you feel like vomiting. You don't want it. Even to look at gulab jamun. Huh?
Titkara. It's like I cannot
Titkara.
stand it for
I can't stand it anymore. Oh my God, I take too much of it. I don't want it anymore, right? So that in Tamil Meenakshi Mathadi, we say Tegati Poral.
Correct.
Negative சொல்லுவாங்க. It says that. That's the same like what Mataji is saying, same language. I mean, almost similar. Can you, this is in Marathi or Hindi, Mataji?
Marathi.
In Marathi, it is, so Prabhuji, Marathi in Ubag and Ubag.
Ubag, yes. Ubag, too much. I mean, you feel like vomiting. That's the thing. So tripti is not the word. Tripti is for satisfaction. So the satiation, Prabhupada is so specifically use this word here. He didn't use the word satisfaction. If you had used the word satisfaction, that statement would have been wrong. You do get satisfaction when doing the devotional service. But satiation you never get. In other words, oh my God, I got too much of this chanting I've done. I don't want to do anymore. You never feel like that. The more you chant, the more you want to chant. Whereas material activities like, you have so much wealth or so much, when you say, oh my God, this is too much for me. I don't want this anymore. It happens in material services, not in the spiritual services. So that's why this purport is so sweet. It's so sweet that how much ever you taste this sweetness, you will not feel like giving it up. I remember 30 years ago, I read this purport. I exactly remember sometime in September, October 2004, around October 2004, I was reading this with Maharaj, this particular purport. And I remember how we both were enjoying this understanding. See, we are actually like dancing in joy, looking at how specifically Prabhupada has used this word, the satiation word. So when Maharaj understood the difference, those days Google and all was not there, no ChatGPT is all not there. Even if it is there, you would not it would not give the right understanding. So when we understood this part and we were glorifying, Maharaj was glorifying Prabhupada like anything. So only Prabhupada can do this. No one else can do this.
So these purposes are not ordinary, that means.
Yeah, no, they are not ordinary. They are Krishna's. That is neither satiation nor end. One can go on increasing his hankerings for the loving transcendental service of the Lord, and yet he will not find satiation or end. No, these things, satiation, nor the end also. So even after our death, we will continue the seva in another body. Can you continue, Prabhu?
One can go on increasing his anchorings for the loving transcendental service of the Lord, and yet he will not find satiation or end. By intense service of the Lord, one can experience the presence of the Lord transcendentally. Therefore, the Lord means being engaged in
seeing
his
the
service.
Lord. Therefore, seeing the Lord.
Therefore, seeing the Lord means being engaged in his service because his service and his person are identical.
See, this line no one else can tell. The service itself is Krishna. His service, because his service and his person are identical. So one can see Krishna in the service. Prabhupada sees Krishna in the writing the purports. He sees Krishna in opening the temple. He sees Krishna in chanting. He sees Krishna in the kirtans. He sees Krishna in everything. Not just in this spiritual activities alone. Even in any other activity, fighting with Nair also, he sees Krishna in that. Right? So, therefore, seeing the Lord means being engaged in his service. So, what Krishna is internally telling Narad Muni, indirectly telling Narad Muni is that don't worry about seeing me, simply carry on with your service. So, in that service, you will see me. You understand? So, the earlier meditation was different and seeing Krishna was different. Now, meditation is equal to Krishna. Meditation is equal to seeing Krishna. So our chanting is equal to seeing Krishna. This discussion is equal to seeing Krishna. I very well remember in Pune, many years ago, we had a like all day Bhagavatam reading in the Suresh Prabhu, the Balaji Hall is there, no? Our just below the this thing, the Balaji Hall. So there we did, I think, Dhruva Maharaja, one of the 15th chapter of first canto. We were doing it from morning to evening. We didn't have any break at all. You can ask Ramvilas Prabhu also. He was there, Bhimang Mataji, Ramvilas Prabhu, they were all there. So we are almost like 5:30 or 6. And in the evening, we started at 10:30 in the morning. Gaurav Prabhu was also there, I think. So when we started off, and we just took a small break in between for having some little snack or something, that also devotees didn't want, but we said we'll get something from Govindas and arrange for the devotees. They didn't go for lunch prasadam also. So it was almost 6 o'clock, and they actually did the arati. They were about to do the arati. The bell was ringing. I said, I think we should stop now. Then all the devotees said, no, darshan we will take later also. Krishna is there, but we want to continue with Bhagavatam. Bhagavatam we cannot take. So, I mean, I'm just sharing this thing because they saw Krishna in that Bhagavatam discussion also. It's not that they are disrespecting the deity, but the deity will be all the more happy when you are delaying that darshan thing because of your eagerness to glorify Krishna. Hear the glorification of Krishna in the Bhagavatam discussion. So I was surprised to hear that, frankly speaking. I was wanting to stop so devotees can go, and because we had little bit more left to complete. So I said, no, let's complete and go. Darshan we can do after that. Krishna will allow. So that is the point of this thing. Like, and many times, like I remember Anjan Prabhu was there, no Prabhu, Suresh Prabhu, you remember in the Kartik Yatra? You only said, I think, he came and asked for some service, and was so enthusiastically dividing devotees between the, what is that, Varishta Vaishnava and the other group and all those gangs. Remember? You're standing there and you're serving like anything.
He was so religiously serving, I couldn't just understand that his depth of service was so deep.
Yeah, and you too. You are very station of yourself, but you are like bringing all devotees. This Prabhu, this side is empty. You just come like that. So nice, really. That enthusiasm. So that is how
Prabhuji
you
and
see.
Mataji were serving so much, Prabhuji. Prabhuji and Mataji both, they were serving with full enthusiasm.
Full enthusiasm, yeah. It's not easy to serve so many, close to 10,000-12,000 people, every single day for the 2 times or 3 times. Amazing it was. So, can you read that, Prabhu?
Therefore, seeing the Lord means being engaged in his service, because his service and his person are identical. The sincere devotee should go on with sincere service of the Lord. The Lord will give proper direction as to how and where it has to be done. There was no material desire in Narada. And yet, just to increase his intense desire for the Lord, he was so advised. Thank you.
See, this last line is very important. There was no material desire in Narada. Prabhupada is clarifying that. Just more you will be freed from all material desires. Krishna is telling that as far as your hankerings will be gone. But actually speaking, Krishna is telling him that in future no more material desires will come to you. For that, you should keep on, let the flow going. See, the Ganges water is flowing. Okay. As long as the Ganges water flows only, the gutter will not get stuck there. Any gutter you throw also will not get stuck there. The moment Ganges water stops flowing, anything you put will block the flow, correct? You can put anything and everything to make that water dirty. You understand the difference? A flowing water doesn't smell, stink. It just keeps driving away any gutter you put in. Whatever material thoughts also it will be flown away with it. But the moment the Ganges stops, the river flow stops, even the smallest gutter you put will be stuck there, and it will dirt or something, garbage you throw, that will create a very bad smell, isn't it? So that is the secret. flow of devotional service means you are continuously we are doing seva. There is no stoppage at all. That is why he's saying there was no materialism in Narada. Yet to just increase his intense desire for the Lord, he was so advised. So advised means what? Continue with your seva. Don't stop the meditation. But don't do the meditation for just seeing me. Because the meditation itself is seeing me. Right? That understanding comes when we are in Pakvata. We attain Pakvata. So there is no difference between chanting and seeing the Lord, because chanting itself is seeing the Lord. You're able to see the Prabhupada writes in a purport. Yasudev, who is that? Chanted in writing. So while his writing was chanting, actually, Prabhupada writes, glorifying. So he's writing and chanting. In that writing, he saw Krishna. Prabhupada also, while writing, he saw Krishna. While speaking, giving lecture, he saw Krishna. While arguing with while smashing the atheists and other materialistic scholars, in that he saw Krishna. Everything he saw Krishna. So that is the ultimate aim of this. So out of the next 3 verses, one we saw, say our total 4 verses, 2 we saw. The remaining 2 we'll see in the coming week, Krishna willing.
Yes, thank you so much.
Any comments, questions?
Prabhuji, thank you very much for sharing that answer of that question Piyush Prabhu asked. Actually, first time I realized that there is a story in story of that delivering the deer in a Ravgana form. First time I heard, and thank you very much. I am very much pleased to hear that.
Thank you, Prabhu. I also heard it many years ago, but I saw there's a beautiful logic behind that. It may not be in Bhagavatam, it may be somewhere else in one of the Puranas or somewhere, but you see the logic behind that point, because Jadabharat Maharaj did not speak one word to any of his brothers or that chief of those gang or even to his anyone else who are neglectfully dealing with him, knowingly they were cheating him and all that. Even to the palanquin carriers, he did not speak, and he was silently carrying it also. Only when Rahugana spoke, and that too, Rahugana was just chastising. He could have just kept quiet compared to what the other burglar, thief of those burglars, he was actually about to behead him. He did not even speak a single word. So he knew why. The second reason is he knew the last few Jatasmaranyas. He knew what happened in the last few lives. So that is how he remembered where that the deer was also born. When he saw Rahugana, he said, "Hey, you are not Rahugana, you are the deer." So it sounded quite logical and quite in line with our philosophy also, right? So nice.
One more thing, that there is a similarity in the tolerating such torture by that the Brahmana who is that rich man became a poor person then.
Sorry, Avanti Brahmana.
Avanti Brahmana also, isn't it? There is a very similar tolerance in his. He tolerated such things. This seems very similar, like Jadabharata and even Rishabdev also.
Yeah, not Rishabdeva. Rishabdeva was not doing anything for him. There is no.
Rishabdeva, when he translated and he left the kingdom, and then
that everybody does. Of course, Rishabdeva showed that renunciation, but you can see that in Uttanapada, you can see that in Vishnu Maharaj, everybody you can see that. That's a standard thing any king should, any one who had completed his duty, they do. But yes, Rishabdeva was Supreme Personality of Godhead himself, so he showed by practice, that's a different thing. But here in this case, wantedly he became deaf and dumb, and he showed himself as a fool in front of others, while internally he was so self-realized. That is very difficult to practice. All of us want to show our knowledge and scholarliness and everything, even if we don't have. If you have everything and still you want to show, don't want to show and be as a deaf and dumb, that is a height of self-realization actually. And he knows that they are cheating. He knows that they are cheating. still he, and not only forget about the wealth and other things they were not giving. They were giving him the food that was going to give to cows and dogs and all. The previous day's food or spoiled food or the food that they give for the cows, that half they throw that broken those paddy and those things, no, all those things. So
What was his
in
feeling,
fact,
Prabhu?
Bhagavatam says he tasted all those things as amrita, as nectar.
Acha. What was his feeling and while tolerating that?
What was his feeling? He saw Krishna in there. He knew that I am going through all these things. Even while carrying the palanquin also, it said, the translation beautifully, it is said that he thought that by this carrying the palanquin and all, I am extinguishing my karma, past karma. This is how I have to extinguish my past karma. So he did not reject or protest or doing anything. He just said, okay, maybe I've done something in the past. Last three karmas he knew. Last three janmas he knew. So he said, maybe before the three janmas I might have done something. So he took it that way.
So nice to thank you.
But it was actually exhibited to show the greatness of Jadabharat Maharaj. Krishna actually wanted to show his greatness to the whole world. That is the reason he sent Rahugana in his life. So that once they hear how much help, because if you're just a deaf and dumb and you die, no Prabhu, who will know that you are a great person? Somebody has to, I mean, his teachings are the ones that last the test of time, isn't it? Like Prabhupada's books, now Prabhu, in this world, at this time, whoever is coming to Krishna consciousness, what is their access to Prabhupada's life? Through his books, through the biography that devotees have written about him, through the memories that devotees are sharing. We don't have personal access to him like how Prabhupada's disciples had, right? So, or maybe his contemporaries had. So this the proof by writing this his commentaries and the Bhaktivedanta purports, Prabhupada is staying forever in this world, and we can get access to his purity, right? So getting access to a Vaishnava's purity is very important aspect because that is the way he can help the future generations. There are different types of Vaishnavas, like some of them are Bhajanandis, some of them are Goshtyanandis. So we cannot fault them. Some of them by nature, they are maybe Bhajanandis. They want to say by themselves and do their bhajan like that. But that is their nature. But there are, but the few, one who is worried about the future generations and how to leave the teachings of Krishna for all of them to take advantage of. That is why Parikshit Maharaj did that 7 days of thinking about the future generations. That is what Prabhupada also did, thinking about the future generation. And all the other acharyas in our sampradaya, they also did. And some of them may be Bhajanandis, but the Goshtyanandis reveal those Bhajanandis also. Like, for example, Jagannath Das Babaji, Kishore Das Babaji were predominantly Bhajanandis. Well, they were preaching also, but they were predominantly Bhajanandis. But preachers like Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur, preaching acharyas like Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami, our Prabhupada ji, they actually revealed and unearthed their glories, right? Otherwise, why would somebody go to see Gaurkishore Das Babaji Maharaj's Samadhi? Tell me. Unless and until these acharyas who came in the later stage, after their departure of, say, someone like Jagannath Das Babaji or Bhakti or Gaurkishore Das Babaji, etc., unless the next acharyas did not reveal their glorious qualities and pastimes, he would not have this reason to go and take darshan of their samadhis or sit there and do some katha or chanting. He would not do that, isn't it, bro? We were doing that in Mayapur, Vrindavan, or anywhere else. Years after year, we are doing. You go to Srirangam. That is the one thing you will find in Srirangam. Not only telling about Srirangam, in many of the temples around the south, not because of not much preaching happening, the own people who were residing within the surroundings of Srirangam, they may not know the greatness of their own acharyas, like Manavala Mamunigal Tirumalizhi, like that. There are many of them are there who had come and done bhajana for thousands of years ago. But when, like say, when, for example, so Radhanath Maharaj or so as Gopal Krishna Maharaj, many of them came and they were doing the parikrama and yatra there. So when the big Harinam was going on with thousands of devotees in the surrounding, in the around the streets of the Srirangam temple, I could see many of them came out, the local residents, just know what is the special thing today? What is the special thing these people are doing? So, and Maharaj was going to each of those Acharya's house, each of the Acharya's house, one of the local devotees, one of the Maharaj disciple who is born, who is in that Sri Vaishnava, who is born from the Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya, he was telling the speciality of each of those Acharyas in Sri Sampradaya. And Maharaj was patiently hearing about them. And because of this whole thing, there was such a nice camaraderie that got developed between those localites and our devotees. And when Maharaj did this big Pandal program, the acharyas on the local, Sri Sampradaya, they came and they were dancing with our devotees and with Maharaj. And it was such a nice mela it was. Such a nice, beautiful utsav it was. You see? So what I'm saying is, even our own people will not know many of our acharyas thing unless and until there is a literary contribution about them or by them for the future generation to understand. That's even very important. Okay, so we'll stop here. Krishna willing, we will continue next week. Thank you for your time and patience. Hare Krishna. Antara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Gurudev ki jai, Jai Gautamadev, Hari Bol. Thank you so much, Prabhu Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
See you
Thank you very
all
much,
soon.
Prabhuji.
Hare
Thank you very
Krishna,
much.
Dandot Pranams, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Thank you.